Hey, what's going on, Hands Off Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. So, one of the common things, one of the things that has always been present in the Pokemon card space, other than people just loving Pokemon cards, the trading, the playing, the actual TCG portion of it itself, one of the most common things that has always happened, and everyone has a story where they remember this stuff, right? Especially if you did it, is people sometimes suck, and we have a lot of card thieves that run around our hobby, and we always have. Everyone remembers that kid that would come up while you're showing your binder or showing your stack of cards and just had those little sticky fingers, had those little greasy Cheeto fingers that couldn't keep their hands to themselves and just had to help themselves to certain cards that was not theirs, whether it was yours, your siblings, or someone else like that, your friend. Like you saw someone just getting robbed blatantly of cards. And it happened, and they'd fucking run home, and they wouldn't say anything about like it. And you try to say like, oh, they stole my car, something like that. And of course, like it was 50-50. Either the parents would know or the parents wouldn't care, or something like that, right? Now, with everyone being a seller now and vendors being everywhere and vendor POV being like the top search thing. I mean, POV being a top search thing anywhere. That's absolutely crazy, right? But vendor POV is absolutely taking over the Pokemon meta right now. That those kind of videos just get stupid amounts of views, and I can see the appeal of moving a bunch of different cards in and out, having interactions. A talented creator and a talented seller having like interactions like that, I could definitely see it being entertaining. I've watched a few of myself. There are some people, and you get to see some cards you don't get to see every day. But with all that stuff popping up, with the cameras being around, now there's more eyes watching the cards. There's more eyes watching all that stuff, and people are catching thieves left and right. People just jacking cards, slide them in their pockets, slide them in their sleeves, put them in their hat, slide them up their asshole, just depending on what they're doing. Very common. It's always been a thing, but now we're actually documenting it and catching it, and we have ways to actually deter it from happening now. So we got a video right here. It's unfortunate, but once again, it's the youth. We gotta teach the kids better. We gotta teach the kids not to fucking do it, man. This is how it starts. You're stealing Pokemon cards. The next thing you know, you're stealing cars. Next thing you know, you're stealing large sums of money. And before you know it, well, bam, you're in Slammer. It's not a place you want to go. It's not you and most people here. I guarantee they're teaching their kids right. But this stuff is a big deal. People are valuing Pokemon cards differently than they did 20 years ago. And the value of stuff kind of stacks up if you're taking big old stacks of Pokemon cards. Just saying. So right here we got a video from Vivian's Collectibles. I'll have it in the description down below if you want to follow along. He's just selling stuff, going along his day, selling some cards, some of the world stuff. And then as you can very plainly see, it is highlighted that a kid is taking a pack and sliding it directly into their sleeve, caught by one of the people that are behind the actual counter. You can see them just slide it in and they continue to hang out. One of the things that's noted is they say this kid did come back multiple times. They hung out before and after the fact, and they were just kind of bebopping around, showing steady signs of them actually wanting to just try to get some more stuff. And that is the thing I've noticed with like thieves like this, especially like people that think they're not going to get caught or people that think they're pretty slick about it. They get bold. They get extremely bold with how much fucking stuff they try to take. And just the sheer amount of things. Like, you saw that one guy that got the good old dose of street justice a little bit ago. That dude had so many cards. That dude had, like, fucking a stack of them that he had tried to just do a devious lick on, just walk out the fucking door with. And he thought people would notice. And that's the thing about, like, this whole card thief thing, is it's getting more common. It's getting more just... We're seeing more of it happen with the actual cameras being set up. It's the way these cards are being valued, man. Like, it's not like how it used to be, and it's not just one of those things where it's not taken as seriously. It's going to get to the point now, and with more stuff like this popping up, where it's going to start getting taken really seriously, and we're going to have some other fuckers that just absolutely ruin their life over Pokemon cards, especially if they're, like, younger, like they're super young adults. That's game over, man. You start your young adulthood, you start your whole adulthood basically with a fucking felony overtaking Pokemon cards, because like I said, you take a stack of cards, like a stack of 20 cards, let's say it's 20, and on average they're about like $50 each, right? Well, bam, you just got yourself $1,000 worth of stolen merchandise, and that is considered a felony in a lot of places. You just stole a bunch of stuff out of that, and that can be tried as such, and establishments, individual creators, store owners, or anybody affected by this could take you to court for that, and it could have some very serious consequences. It's not like the old days where it's like, oh, it's just Pokemon cards, oh, it's just cardboard. It's kind of one of like the double-edged swords that has happened in the Pokemon space. People take this hobby a lot more seriously. There's a lot more people that have fun here, and the value here is kind of crazy for certain things. Whether you think it's good or bad, it happens to be a fact. Doesn't matter how you feel. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like it also attracts people into it that are going to try to steal and try to get away with certain things, because the value of just your everyday average card is kind of crazy now. Like, but before, it used to kind of be more vintage stuff. Like, you used to have to hide your vintage stuff behind the counter. You wanted to have your Wizards of the Coast packs, your sealed product, all that stuff. Dude, your modern cards nowadays, your actual no joke SAR cards that are just like, $40 like one day can easily be $80 the next day. And a lot of the modern cards nowadays have some value to them. You're taking a fucking binder full of a bunch of modern cards. It's really not that hard for it to stack over $1,000 at this point for people to rack up charges. It's crazy just how much money has changed this hobby to the point where this is ultimately the culture that we have now for this place. Once again, it always existed. It was always a thing where we had Pokemon thieves in this place, and there's always been scummy assholes willing to just take people's collections and run off with them, right? But it's taken a hell of a lot more seriously now, and I'm just waiting for it, where we're going to start seeing people actually face some real consequences, some real fucking life-changing, I'm going in the slammer consequences for this bullshit that we're experiencing in the Pokemon space. It's going to happen. You're going to start seeing more stories about it. You're going to watch some absolute idiot try to walk away with like $10,000, $20,000 worth of modern Pokemon cards from binders and absolutely get the entire book thrown at them. Do I feel bad for them? No, they're Pokemon card thieves, but especially for kids, for the younger youth that are doing this stuff. I don't think any kids watch my page or anything like that, but I mean, like, for the people that do have kids, I mean, it's just important as hell to stress the actual dire nature of people taking people's property, it valuing a crazy amount, and the life-changing consequences that could have on them too. Because I don't really think kids quite understand, because it's just, once again, it's just Pokemon cards. What's the thing? It's not just Pokemon cards. It's money, it's people's businesses, it's their livelihoods, and I mean, more importantly to me, it's their collection, it's their hobby, it's what they do here to escape from the reality of the rest of the world. And I don't take that for granted at all. I take the fact that the Pokemon hobby exists and the things we can do here, that I can fucking vent and make content, I can just vent and look at my Pokemon card collection, I can fucking just sit and daydream about the things I might get from Terrestrial Festival or Prismatic Evolutions, or think about what's happening like further in the sets and actually see what's going to happen later on in the Scarlet and Violet era. I don't take any of that stuff for granted. It truly is a blessing to have a hobby like this and to be actually able to truly de-stress from the stressors of the actual world, man. I don't take it lightly. This hobby's a crazy place, and this card theft stuff, I'm very glad it's getting documented. I'm very glad people are actually showing it happen, because in my personal opinion, yeah, they're scammers, they're scumbags. Those guys are absolutely fucking awful. They truly are. I don't think thieves are fucking any less awful or scummy than any of that stuff either. Maybe a little bit more scummy, depending on what they're actually doing and the nature of the scummy, scammy things that are going on as well. That theft is just something that is absolutely not tolerated here. It's fucking nuts, man. How do I keep my cards from not getting stolen? I was actually going to film a commercial for this. I did twice, but the actual thing kept getting corrupted. I'm very sorry, Roxandy. Yep, that's how I do it, baby. I keep my cards locked up in this big old binder. Yep, I keep my cards behind bars, baby. Ye old card prison right here. You guys might remember that big old behemoth of a binder Roxandy did previously. This is his creation. If I saw you at Card Party, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That big white one I was walking around with. Well, now we got the black version one right here. Super cool. Love these binders. Not only do they hold standard Pokemon cards, like it has like about 180 card slots for regular ones, it also holds top loaders. You can actually keep those protected for people that have sealed cards and keep them top loaded, keep them all nice and safe and stuff like that. It's absolutely wonderful. These binders are great. The thing's huge, by the way. Someone trying to walk away with this or trying to steal this binder, they're going to have a hard time. The only reason I can lift this sucker is because I work out, baby. I go to the gym and I'll do it. Oh, it's not your average everyday binder that the regular person is going to walk around with. It's great, though. Keeps the cards nice and good. Roxandy, one of the treasures in this Pokemon community, just doing some great things. Obviously, this is only the beginning for them right here. I'm blessed to be a part of that myself. If you want to pick up one, you got cardprison.com. You can use Opossum10 code and save yourself 10% off any of the binders you choose. Feel free to use it. They support the channel. They're good peeps. If it's something you want to do, go for it. Pick up a binder. Let me know how it goes. I do recommend these. I do use these myself. Yeah, that's right. I was walking around fucking Card Party with all these good-ass cards in my binder. Fucking, thank God someone didn't try to steal the cards from there, right? Thought I was kidding. I actually use this binder. I absolutely do love it. And I keep a lot of my really good cards in these binders. Once again, Opossum10 is going to be that code if you want to use it. I'm sorry, Rock. I'll actually try to film the real thing I was going to. It was a crazy, spectacular advertisement I was planning on doing for that stuff. It kept getting corrupted based off how I was filming it and what was going on. I think I've got that figured out. I just need to use something a little bit different for what it was. It'll make sense when it actually comes out. If it actually comes out, I do apologize. It took so long, but go get yourself a binder if you want one. I do appreciate it. Hey, keep your hands off other people's stuff, or else you might go to card prison. Oh, that'd be a place to go, right? That's all I got. Appreciate it, Virgin Gang. See you later. Man, the card thefts, it's just, you hate to see it, man. You hate to see the kids doing it. Just, it's not a good path. Not where you want to see them going. It's, I don't know. Pokemon cards. Double-edged of, like, the last 5 years, really, more than that. So it's just, you hate to see it. You really do. Oh, well, it'll sort itself out, I guess.